wind is calling my name. The wind is obviously at the forefront here, and the wind is its own character in this. You see how the wind is promoted. You see it in her hair. It's pushing through the water. It's in the clothing. It's even in the sound and the audio that they use. It's this constant howling throughout. And also just beautiful imagery of the scenery. Just a nice representation of the location of the space in which they chose to shoot this in. And it did make me wonder, is this wind actually wind or is this man-made wind? Did we put a fan here so that we can make these moments happen? Or were these just natural moments of this environment? And this is a windy place and we're going to capture it. And so that you can't tell. And either way is fine. But it was just curious to know which one was it.
The wind is calling. This entire piece was so visually striking. I mean, these gorgeous locations and fantastic cinematography. I loved the music, and I loved what they did with incorporating the sound effects into it. It really gave it a layered feel. And honestly, I'm so curious now about owning some kind of a sweater from the Faroe Islands because it got me that intrigued about what was going on. Yeah, it grabs your attention, it keeps your attention, and it's beautiful. It's striking. Great job.
Wind is calling my name. What a glorious location scouted for this. It just really captured that intensity through the senses. The touch of the cold stone, the sound of the rushing waters, the breeze through the tundra, and the feeling of wind in one's hair. And I thought it really honed in on the textures and the feelings of the environment, which ultimately lent itself to the textures of the garments and the feelings of the garments to really embody those elements, and immerse yourself in the environment by putting on these garments. So I thought it was brilliant in terms of the marketing, but it was just a very visceral experience to connect you to the place where they're created. And it was gorgeous, and I want to visit.
The Wind is Calling My Name. This was an interesting short, quite emotional, I would say. I liked how the main character meets herself, and I liked and I love the mix of cinematography, nature, and music, along with the dance, of course. How the animals are fighting each other, and basically, the main character is just trying to find some peace, some internal peace. I think. Or uh, certainly, the best part of the short was the rhythm, the dance, and the music. So I think in the end, it was a very well done short. So congratulations.
The Wind is Calling My Name like really interestingly plays the number of dualities. So you've got light and dark, you've got up and down, you've got love and violence. And it presents these ideas like visually through the use of symmetry and doubling, which is really impressive. I think it kind of tries to suggest the idea that maybe these opposites aren't actually as different as they seem. And it's all kind of surrounded by like the raw power and the beauty of nature. And I think what this does is it kind of collapses these dualities into that nature that surrounds them, which is a really interesting idea. All this stuff it comes from just like the raw power of the beauty of nature. So these dualities aren't at odds as they might seem in people. They're actually kind of coexistent in nature, which I think speaks to our relationship to ourselves and to the world around us in a very visually rich and thematically complex way, which is really cool.
This reviews for The Winter is Calling My Name. They showcase this art, these art crafts from the Gudrun Wool creations at the Faroe Island. They have a majestic landscape, they have cool shots with natural light, everything looks so bright and brilliant. They have beautiful shots and beautiful music with this mountain scenery. I don't know if it's winter, but it looks snowy. It looks just great. I love this production.
The Wind is Calling My Name. This is a fashion film. This felt grounding and at times breathtaking. Each piece they showcase is unique to its show. As the cinematography gazes towards the mountains or the crashing waves, we would hear one woman calling out to the wild almost. Even though we can't physically feel the wind, we can sense the wind wrapping around them. I like that they create different identities between the twins to make it seem a little bit more asymmetrical, a yin yang moment as their coats kind of mimic this symbol by the colorism. Even at one point in the short, there's this metaphorical aspect of them butting heads as you see these goats crash into one another as if they're trying to break away from the same face, a gravitational pull to be who you are and where you're supposed to be in this moment.